ring the little bell so you're notified when new videos drop. And Doctor Who Season 13, Doctor Who Flux has fluxed and is finished. Thank God. You know, I do find when Jodie Whittaker's Doctor Who is on, I don't like Doctor Who as much. And the minute it ended, right, it's incredible. The minute it ended, I just start thinking about bits of Doctor Who I love. Like, I was just thinking about Kinder. I was going to say Sharda. I like Sharda too. But I really love Kinder. I absolutely love Kinder. And I thought, well, it's a real tragedy that it's the production values are just way too low. That you know, anybody could really access it without loving Doctor Who first, which again, kind of tragic because I absolutely love that story. So in my head, I started like recasting a remake of it with Paul McGann, do it as a feature length. I was like, well, who could be Tegan? I guess you'd have a different companion. But anyway, I hadn't realized, right? About 10 minutes had gone by, and I hadn't realized I was back in the world of Doctor Who, enjoying myself again. And kind of like the instant this like dark shadow, you know, it's right. And we've only got a month off, right? We've only got a month off until they're back again with more unrelenting bollocks, I think is the academic name for this. Yeah. So, but still, life feels so much better when it's not. Anyway. They seem to have gone to the J.J. Abrams school of writing, which is everything only exists in the moment. There is no future. There is no past. It's all about mic drop moments. Star Trek Discovery is famous for these. It like goes from, especially season 2. Season 2, it lurched from mic drop moment to mic drop with no like, you know, connective real tissue between them. Right? It was really bizarre. Now it's degenerated into Stunning and Brave Women crying in space. Right? And it really is. I did my recap on my stream yesterday, and as I was doing it, I realized this is about 80% crying in space, right? It was just a relentless about crying in space. So Doctor Who wasn't that bad. Wasn't as bad as Star Trek Discovery, which has just given up trying to be good. But it was reasonably awful in that we got to the end, and none of it made sense. None of it had any point, and none of it really made any sense. There was a gazillion billion plot holes. Just throughout the entirety of it. It's and no, these are not mysteries. Let me take a look. I think it's possible, maybe probable, that the characters Vinder and Belle and maybe Carvanista will come back, because it really feels like their story is just really undone, right? Their story is just not ready, not complete. But it might just be Chibnall's a terrible writer as well. I mean, all this is incredibly, well, it's not possible. It's not probable. It's actual, right? He is a terrible writer. But is he that terrible? Well, yes, probably he is. He probably is. So there's a good chance he won't sing him. Anyway, so Screenrant, who has been very much in love with this era of Doctor Who, is desperate to try and tell people like me, no, there are no plot holes. You just weren't paying attention. Pish posh. No. It's full of freaking plot. I mean, the biggest plot hole is, like, what the hell was the Flux, right? It was antimatter from another universe, maybe the antimatter universe, that destroyed everything apart from planets it didn't want to destroy, when it just, like, mangled. And was repelled by a fleet of dog people spaceships, right? I mean, really. And then it can all be sucked into one being after it eats up the Dalek Cybermen and Sontarans. Oh, it's going to be so much fun without them in the future. Although Daleks are back. That's my point. Eats up Dalek Cybermen and then gets sucked into one being. It's and then at the end, like, after most of the universe had been destroyed, Dalek Cybermen, most of the universe, there was just this reset button kind of hit, and everything was back to normal. So yeah, those aren't mysteries. That's shit writing. Okay, that's absolutely terrible writing. Fine. Before Bob Screenrant's been trying to piece them together. Bless them. Let's go down this rabbit hole with them. Before we get into it, as always, hit the like button, hit the share button, mostly hit the subscribe button. It's incredible. Every time I come to a round number, my subscriptions stop and then go down, right? About over 3 or 4, and they hold down for like about 2 or 3 days, and they go up again. It's almost as if there's an algorithm controlling the amount of subscribers I get. Could be. Who knows? Anyway, so if you want to fight the power baby, hit the subscribe button and comment. Let me know what you think about this unending bollocks that is Doctor Who Flux. I always wondered what it'll feel like. What's that, darling? The end of the universe. Yeah, I mean, like, a whole thing was really written. Maybe Star Trek as well is written for like TikTok 30-second bites. They go, oh, look at that, Stunning Brave. So let's start with the first of these things that just annoyed me, right? Annoyed me. And it was actually a reasonably cute idea if it wasn't so stupid or done so stupid. Like Rusty Davis did a bunch of stupid ideas, but they were lovely, right? I mean, like first episode, Rose, you had Mickey caught on the wheelie bin and being sucked into it, and because I absorbed everything they said about it at the time. I guess I still do. They said, look, it's very important that kids are able to relate to this and see the wheelie bins out the next day, and they in their head they can have an adventure, right? And alter, which is very true. And it's just Sarah Jane Adventures kind of stuff, CBBC, that the Sontarans are now in love with sweeties, or if you're in America, candy. This is which I've seen all of Doctor Who. I've listened to all of Big Finish. Okay, I'm done. I have never seen this indicated before, but let's see if they can unravel this mystery. Doctor Who Flux reveals a second devastating Sontaran weakness. Yeah, they got a knockout butt in the back of the head. Chocolate. Why do the more warmongering villains love candy so much? Sweets. That's English. How come some of the massive chocolate addicts and Doctor Who's the Sontarans debuted in 1973, medieval flavor, the third Doctor version, Time Warriors, popping up regularly ever since, take another crack at invading Earth. Well, they invaded Gallifrey as well. Despite being obsessed with warfare and combat, the Sontarans have always ranked among the more comedic. No! That was Dan Starkey, and I kind of like what he did. No, they were never comedic. What? Okay, recurring villains with their infamous potato-like heads. Well, they do look like the Mitchells, in all fairness. That was up until Doctor Who Flux War of the Sontarans, which presented the bad as at their most ruthless best, and that old comedy streak couldn't stay absent for long. Okay. In Doctor Who Flux, the Vanquishers, the Sontarans occupy the Earth for a second time. Why do they want Earth? I don't really know, because I think in the far future, Steyer gets killed by Tom Baker. I don't know. Is it Steyer or no? It's not Lynx. It is Steyer. I think no. Steyer is two doctors. I'm getting my Sontarans mixed up. Never mind. Occupy for a second. So why are they invading? No, we don't know. One, the plot holes, but we're not going to deal with that one. And they hatch a plan to conquer the universe by exploiting the Flux. This was actually reasonably clever, right? Jodie Whittaker's 13th Doctor needs to infiltrate Sontaran Command with Kate units. Kate Stewart, not Kate Lethbridge Stewart, reveals a new unexpected new weakness in the Sontaran's armor, and we don't mean the probic vent hole. Okay. Watch out for your vent hole, darling. You might get it bruised. New wave of Sontaran's evaders are ransacking Earth's many corner shops. Earth doesn't have corner shops. England has corner shops. Shoving down chocolate candy and fizzy drinks galore. The promise of more sugary snacks even convinces the Sontarans to accept terms and ultimately lead to their demise. Yes, to betray Sontar, which is where it got stupid, right? Where it got so stupid. So why do the Sontarans now come with a devastating chocolate downfall? There's nothing in Doctor Who's past canon to explain this. Admittedly hilarious. It's cute. And if it wasn't so stupid, it would have been good. Nor any historic sugar binges during the Sontarans' previous episodes. In typically rapid, jargon-filled fashion, to gloss over how bad it's written, the Doctor attributes the Sontaran's reliance on chocolate to be metabolic processing. Something about the Earth's reduced gravity and the gas composition has, according to the Doctor, given the Sontarans a liking for Earth's sweet treats. That's so stupid. More than just tasting good, the shallow the Sontaran appears to appears slightly tipsy off the cocoa high, slurring. Okay, how much longer did this go for? Okay, no, I'm not reading about this. The Sussman songs on Collector's Sweet Tooth is ambiguous. Behind the scenes reason for the addiction of this. The comedy value. Yes, I know. Fine. So no. it's just a plot hole for a kid's gag, right? This one's a little bit more like really got dropped. Like Belle's origin and species. Why was the Doctor so excited? Maybe she just like women having babies, and like she didn't seem overly pregnant, and how long she'd been pregnant for. Like I just don't really get it. Okay, I don't really get it. Doctor Who Flux introduced viewers to Belle and Vinder, which actually was quite a sweet segment, right? And that was, even though did get the feeling Vinder was supposed to be Captain Jack. Where did they come from? Why did the Doctor react so strongly to Belle's being pregnant? Because this Doctor is a moron. Okay, that's why. So episode 6 gave Belle and Vinder a happily ever after. Not really. I mean, no more than Mel. Right? He went off with Carney, but left more questions unanswered. When Tecton unleashed the flux upon the universe, oh God, it's getting boring. I feel my eyelids drooping just reading this. She destroyed the bulk of the cosmos, which we didn't really mention. A desperate handful of survivors scattered amongst the stars, and Thadia Graham's Belle was one of them. Believing her beloved Vinder, played by Jacob, was still alive, she and her unborn child travel across the universe. And again, how long she'd been pregnant for? Bit weird. It's a bit weird. The star-crossed lovers got the happily ever after, of course, courtesy of the Doctor. When Belle was forced. No, not courtesy of the Doctor. What the hell? Vinder called the Doctor, right? On a magic radio to call the Doctor, and Belle happened to be there at the time and went, that don't bloody her. It was, again, the same reason that none of her companions or fam are dead. Luck. Sheer luck. Star Girls have got the happily ever courtesy of the Doctor, and Belle was forced to leap to Earth's defense because the Lupari needed her stolen ship. Yeah, that was another dumb piece of writing. It was like, I seem to have the one thing that makes sense to bring me over here. It wasn't really writing. It was more like plot points, right? It was like this did this. Everything was a function. Nothing was about character, right? Because I don't really think he could do characters. She was a competent ally. The Doctor with the device she shared, and allowing her to communicate with the child in the womb, even though she doesn't seem pregnant at all. Hacking into Sontaran system, she was joyfully reunited with Vinder when her lover sent a desperate call to the TARDIS at the end of Doctor Who. Was it at the end? It felt like more the middle. And the two decided to continue traveling post-Flux. Okay. I mean, like you're pregnant. Maybe you should settle down and have a family. I don't know. But, that would only make sense. It's unclear whether the story of Ben and Vinder is really over. It seems to me it's not, right? It seems to me it's not. Current Doctor Who showrunner Christian was departing after the next 3 specials. Oh, God, can it just be over already? 3 more episodes ever. Returns are meaning any returns are likely to be sooner rather. Well, within the next 3 episodes, okay? I think probably not this one. Maybe at the end, but the next one, I can imagine. Next one or the last one. Precious known about Belle's species, her homeworld. It seems to have been part of the vast galactic empire run by the Grand Serpent. Yeah, do we know anything about that either? No. But it was ravaged and apparently destroyed by the Flux Force. Again, apparently, it's not bad enough. It's not bad enough that Chibnall can't write a coherent narrative to put on screen, right? It's not bad enough. But, there's so much ancillary stuff you could do. You could write short stories. There's so much stuff Doctor Who fans, just vacuum up, right? I mean, don't you remember Russell Lee Davies again? When he ran Doctor Who, you had the podcasts that were fantastic. The director's commentary. You had the production notes. You couldn't shut him up, right? And everything was fine and explained. And there was nobody going, it doesn't make sense, right? Well, you could have done some kind of ancillary, kind of like a comic book or something to done. No, you really couldn't, because there's nobody wants to do this garbage. You could have written some short. So you could have done Belle's diary or something, anything. Oh God, just such a moron. But it was Rabbi apparently destroyed by Flux, forcing the Grand Serpent to ally with the Sontarans in an attempt to conquer the Earth. This mysterious yet unidentified race appeared to have quite a presence across the galaxy. They were familiar enough with the technology, such as passenger, to recognize them at sight. Both Belle and Vinder are well trained, with Belle taking on armies of Cybermen during her quest with Vinder. Well, she's a stunning and brave girl. I mean, listen, she's nearly 5'1". I mean, come on, she can take them on. She was wise not to tangle with the Daleks. So, well, actually, I quite like this actress. It's just a shame she was given garbage, really. I mean, she seems like a perfectly lovely person and very good, and good at her job, right? And she was able to take this flat, boring dialogue and put some kind of life into it, right? The Doctor was overjoyed to learn that Belle was pregnant, but the strength of her reaction seemed oddly disproportionate, as she only just met Belle at the time. Well, that's Whittaker's performance, right? She's very bad at this job, right? That's Whittaker's performance. The likely reason is that, unlike viewers, the Doctor identified her species. Yeah, we're shoehorning your bullcrap in there. Like, no, the likely reason is Chibnall's a shit writer. That's the likely reason. All roads lead to Rome, baby. But she only ever met Belle at the time. But the likely reason is that, unlike viewers identified her species, Doctor Who Flux episode 6 established the Doctor has unusual powers of perception. Oh, not this one. Setting two hearts beating behind the Grand Serpent's chest and figuring out his true nature. Where was that? I thought she was talking about herself. Oh, that's the next thing we're looking at, I think. But okay, it's reasonable to assume that she was able to identify Belle as well. She'd already visited Belle's homeworld, and the knowledge of the new child being born was a little sunbeam of hope in the dark galaxy. But again, what is this space command that Vinder was part of? And I don't understand. Just give us some details. At least I understand who Dogboy is. Doctor Who, I said Dogboy. Doctor Who Flux seems to say that Belle and Vinder are somehow important to the story. At the end, they felt like secondary characters, tertiary, not secondary, written into the narrative to add human element into the tragedy of the Flux. That's really very likely what they were, right? That's really very likely the entirety of what they were. The mismatch between setup and delivery led to a lot of speculation among viewers, with some suggesting that their as yet unborn child was the timeless child herself. Still probably is. This seemed unlikely, given Tectoon confirmed the Doctor's multiversal origin, and the Doctor would certainly have sensed a connection to some kind. Maybe she did. Who knows? We didn't notice any of this stuff. Well, it's possible that Belle and Vinder... Wait, this Doctor's an adult. She doesn't work anything out. No. Well, it's possible that Belle and Vinder will indeed return after Doctor Who Flux. In Chibnall's remaining three episodes, in truth, they simply seem to have been background figures that were overhyped. Okay, could well be. It'd be really sad if that's the case. Did Doctor... Oink. Scoot over. I can't... Oh, really? Okay, one second. Refresh. There you go. Did Doctor Who confirm the Grand Serpent is a secret Time Lord? I didn't notice that, right? I did not notice that, but let's see. By the way, if you haven't seen this stuff, don't go watch it. It's garbage. It's unwatchable garbage. Okay. Viewers can even speculate the Grand Serpent one of the villains of Doctor Who Flux is a Time Lord, but that's not the case when he made his debut in Doctor Who Flux episode 3. Most viewers assume Craig Parkinson was simply making a camo of a corrupt official. He appeared in Vinder's flashbacks and was plunged into his own personal timeline in the Temple of Atropos, on the planet of time, where they met time. Who fights space. Apparently so. Fine. Well. So with Vinder, oh man, look, they got a little video of Ghostbusters Afterlife playing. I still haven't bloody seen it, right? I still haven't bloody seen it. Every time I try and go and see it, there's like something stops me. maybe tonight. Who knows? Grand Serpent unexpectedly returned in episode 5. Yeah, that was unexpected. All the Sontaran and ally of the Sontarans who helped them invade Earth by neutralizing unit, Earth's primary defense against extraterrestrial invaders. There was the immediate speculation that the Time Lord, potentially the Master, he acted like the Master, whereas Sashamar's Master acted like the meddling monk. Given his predilection towards dapper black suits and his ability to travel in time, even the Grand Serpent Emma felt like a Master-like plot, particularly reminiscent of Roger Delgado's incarnation of the Renegade Time Lord. Yeah, exactly. Even the Grand Serpent's MO felt like a traditional Master plot, particularly... I just read that. Renegade Time Lord. Some viewers have even suggested Grand Serpent's favourite way of killing, apparently ectoplasmic serpent, could be a reference to his time when... Oh, I see. But the 1990s Master, played by whatever his name was... Eric Roberts, right? Yeah. This, however, is a misread of the scene. The Doctor senses two hearts, but doesn't reach the conclusion that the Grand Serpent is a Time Lord. Instead, she said binary demi-species, something very rare, an ability she describes as inter-body bioproject. It's just bollocks! It's just a bunch of bollocks she was spouting, okay? That's all it is. It's just a bunch of bollocks. It's techno-babble. Doctor's interrogation scene was one of the strongest moments in Doctor Who Flux. No! It was awful! With the Doctor employing a classic Tom Baker, David Tennant trick. No. Not David... Oh, she just came off as smug and stupid. God, could you imagine her do the Tom Baker, have I the right speech? Oh, my God. And it was a bad David Tennant impersonation all the way through. Parkinson and Widow had a great dynamic, with Grand Serpent growing increasingly frustrated as he sensed the Doctor gradually taking control of the conversation. See, that's why it didn't work, because that was what the script was, and you know, Craig Parkinson was doing his best to sell it, but Jodie Whittaker, she can't sell that sort of stuff. Are you out of your mind? The Doctor's ability to identify the ground was actually a crucial part of the plot, because the bioproject and dual imaging is subject to very painful sonic locking, which means the Grand Serpent is vulnerable to sonic waves. Very useful when given the Doctor's sonic screwdriver, and the Sontarans apparently use sonic restraints to hold their prisoners. Yeah, I'm just remembering how Jodie Whittaker showed up to save Jodie Whittaker. Oh, the incredible thing is, they genuinely treat this era that she is as beloved as David Tennant or Matt Smith, right? She's not. I tell you, the raisins are in the toilet. Weird thing, by the way, the +7 day, the +4 screen ratings is not out yet. Normally they come out very, very quickly. They're completely not out yet. So I can't do my ratings analysis. I hope they're going to be out by Friday, which is when I really want to do a news video. But like, I mean, I reckon their final score is going to be something between 4.8 and 4.9. Not this week though. I think it's going to do pretty bad. I think this week it was 3.58, not the lowest rating ever. So let's say 3.6. I think you're looking at 4.4 is where they're coming out on this one of the final episode. Yeah, I reckon it'll get 800,000 bucks if they're lucky. Again, if they're lucky. Right. So at the end of this we have, and it was really confusing. They go to the planet Time where they meet the person Time. Time lives on the planet Time, along with the Temple of Atropos, which we know nothing about, along with the Mori, and nothing at all. So they go, and then they're taken there by Storm and Azure, and then this blue cloud swirls up and turns into a copy of Swarm. And I just thought it was another one in his race or something, and then he kills Swarm, and then turns into the Doctor, or Jodie Whittaker's Doctor, wearing the dark jacket. Okay. So I don't understand any of this. Please explain it. Doctor Who's Flux greatest retcon is the introduction of the Avatar of Time, completely transforming the show's mythology again, in another way, right? In another bad way. But what does it mean? It means Chibnall is a bad writer. It's not complicated. It's not complicated at all. Doctor Who Flux episode 6 introduced the biggest retcon to date, the Avatar of Time itself. So shit. Oh, and I thought the planet time was shit. No, the person time is shitter than the planet time. Current Doctor Who showrunner Christian is certainly ambitious. A fan of ambitious. I don't know, arrogant. A fan of the classic series, not really. Don't you think it's a bit repetitive? I think is how he described the classic series. His central pitch appears to be an attempt to rewrite 58 years of Doctor Who mythology and replace it with banal garbage. I mean, that's really what it is. Until now, it seemed like as though his central idea was to retcon the Doctor as a timeless child, being from outside of the universe, who becomes the base genetic code for the Time Lord's race. Well, not really, but whatever. But Doctor Who Flux up the ante. Oh yeah, because that's all they can do. With dramatic changes to show concept of the universe itself and time in particular. Yes, time is at war with space because it's bots. Time's at war with space. Doctor Who Flux episode 2 introducing viewers to the Temple of Atropos and explain nothing about it. Situated on the impossible planet called Time that existed at the 0 point of space-time. There's ancient Time Lord. Ancient Time Lords had conspired with beings called the Moray to restrain the flow of time. All time passes through the Moray. And again, who are the bloody Moray? I mean, like, again, when you introduce something new, you got to kind of explain it. Well, do you remember when they introduced System of Khan? You understood what they were pretty darn quick. But no explanation. Because again, he's creatively bankrupt, right? As I think the BBC is financially becoming bankrupt, they're also creatively bankrupt. Their ancient time goes all time passes through the Moray. Priest triangles. The priest triangles explain. Okay, before Atropos, time ran wild, and it was in the dark times of the universe were young. The laws of time and space were unconstrained. The Time Lords sought to create the universe of order and force time to bend to their will. The main villains of Doctor Who Flux, Hormonazor, sought to liberate time by destroying the Temple of Atropos. And did we ever get all that explained? I'm not sure. But Doctor Who Flux episode took matters one step further. Yeah, no, it wasn't quite good enough. Let's go a step further, shall we? With the Doctor being transported to the Temple of Atropos, where she confronted the Avatar of Time. Very poorly explained. This is the first time the Doctor has ever personalized time in this manner. It's a radical change. Honestly, what a dumb blonde would think of when asked to write Doctor Who. You know, you remember the dumb blonde jokes, I guess, when they're not allowed anymore? Well, replace them with dumb social justice warrior. You know, dumb blondes. They all come up with the same thing. Time's a person now. Does that scare you, patriarchy? No, it's just stupid. As a result, the personification of the previously nebulous concept of time is arguably Doctor Who's biggest retcon. That's fair. That's a fair one. Look at the little confused face of Jodie Whittaker. Finally, we all agree, darling. Hormonazor had used the Vision's technology to release the final Flux event upon the galaxy because it's not like the Division was about to do that themselves. Yeah. So what was their point? Unaware the Doctor had engineered a plan to conquer them. What? She did? What was her plan? They intended to destroy the remainder of the universe and then finally destroy the Temple of Atropos itself, believing themselves to be triumphant. They transported themselves to the temple and met with the Savior and Avatars. Oh, yeah, no, she had a plan by that point because... what happened? She had a plan by that point because... she was broken into 3 people. God, that's such a bad idea. So again, rip-off of David Tennant. It's just unbelievable. It's really unbelievable. Although, it's not unbelievable. It's what he does. Believing themselves to be a triumph, and they transform into blah 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 blah. This is a major departure from classic Doctor Who. And met their savior, the Avatar of Time. Right. This is a major development classic Doctor Who lore, which has tended to treat time as an impersonal force. Yeah, force of nature, right? And certainly not the malevolent entity. The idea seems to be drawn from Marvel Comics concepts such as death, eternity, and entropy. It could be the Sandman as well, same thing. Have been represented by avatars. A lot of concept. By the way, the Sandman TV show, right? On Netflix. I'm predicting it's going to be a perfect, flawless adaptation of that first trade paperback with the character playing Death very, very uncomfortably race swapped, just sticking out and being weird. But other than that, I think it's going to be very good. A very faithful adaptation, I should say. A lot of concepts from Doctor Who have been drawn from the MCU. I don't think so. But in this case, the idea is one the MCU actively avoided. The comics portray Thanos as being in love with Death, but the MCU took a different approach. Chibnall, by contrast, appears to rather like the personification of time because he's a moron. That's why. Press the page. I've scooted it over. Okay. In Chris Chibnall's Doctor Who, the time's greatest weapon is entropy. This is manifested most spectacularly in Swarmers called the Time Force. You are writing your fan fiction and pushing it in there to prop this nonsense up. Purple particles that destroy anything they come in contact with. Thus, time unrestrained and entropy is unleashed and continue. How do you know that? He could just be dissolving them with his magic glove. We don't know any of that. And it's not a mystery, right? It's just something they didn't bother to explain because they're moronic hacks. Purple goggles that destroy anything. They're coming up, blah, blah, blah. Given the temperature is situated on a planet called Time, it's possible time. True prison is the entire world, or the universe, or reality. With the temperature keeping it in prison, the Avatar would therefore be seen as nothing more than a projection of time, cast from the consciousness to interact with Swarm and Azure. It's interesting that the Avatar time never shows its true form, if indeed it has one, instead appearing a Swarm and then the Doctor herself. It really wasn't very good. Doctor Who Flux dramatically rewrites Doctor Who mythology and lore. Again! Okay, it positions time as an oppositional force, ultimate villain restrained by the Time Lords at the end of the Dark Time with their triumphant over time, presumably. So they imprison time and its avatar and its like champions, Swarm and Azure, and then they have control of it, which is why they control. So stupid. I mean, I keep saying this is so stupid, but there's a reason for that, because this is so stupid, right? This is so stupid. The Doctor, of course, has played a key role in the conquest of time. The Timeless Child was a source of power regeneration, bringing Gallifrey's denial of entropy. Man, you are putting your fan fiction big time in this. So you're saying time's natural defense is entropy, and that's why they have regeneration to stop time's greatest weapon. Okay, look, mate, your fan fiction is worse than Chibnall's. But at least it's only on Screenrant. It's not on TV. As in the Doctor Who Flux episode 3, Time Storm visions. She was where the temporary boss was activated and time was imprisoned, thus maybe re-imprisoned. Thus, Christian has imagined time as the greatest enemy, with the Doctor posing order in a universe, establishing the laws of physics. God. Oh man, this goes on. Bloody hell! 4 more paragraphs. Oh. In philosophical terms, please. This is a shockingly negative understanding of time. It's Chris Chibnall. He's an adult. He's a moron. He will do stupid things. Yes, time is chaos and destruction, and the servants are not, and its servants are nihilists. Oh, nihilists! That's so Doctor Who. This was completely counter the kind of philosophy the Doctor has typically expounded. Yes, because Chibnall is a moron. Because there is more to time than entropy. There's also creation and transformation. The grounds of hope. The Doctor has not traditionally been a force of order, but rather a force of change. Force of order? I think the Doctor's been a force of order. Indeed, some of the best stories, including Genesis of Daleks, widely viewed as the best Doctor Who tale ever told, have seen the Doctor insist that the forces of evil serve a greater good as a result of time. No, it's not as a result of time! God! It's interesting to note that Tom Baker's Fourth Doctor uses this argument to explain why he wouldn't commit genocide, while Jodie Whittaker leapt to the... Hey, I get to kill a whole species. Yummy. And wipe out the Daleks, where Doctor Who Flux 13 Doctor literally plans out a triple genocide. Yeah. I think we're saying the same thing here now. Chris Chibnall is an old school Doctor Who fan. No, he's not. He's John substantially from some of the media release. Obviously, it was cancelled in '89. He even secretly canonized a Dalek short story from Doctor Who magazine in stylistic terms. Many of his stories feel loosely inspired by New Adventures novels. That's true. Ripped off from, which postulated a different secret origin for the Doctor. But the Avatar of Time and Chibnall's understanding of time as a villain is far darker than anything that attempted by the Virgin Universe. Yeah, and it's this wildly inappropriate, if I may say so. There, the Seventh Doctor came close to consider himself Time's champion precisely because he was ripping off the Endless and Sandman at the time. There was a conceptual bleakness in to Chibnall's view of time. There's a conceptual bleakness in Chibnall's view of everything, right? Because that's the sort of person he is. One that really doesn't fit well with the positivity and typically lies at the heart of Doctor Who. So what does this mean for the Doctor? What does Time's Prophecy mean for Doctor? She's going to regenerate in 3 episodes. Really? You having trouble working that one out? Doctor Who Flux sees Time and the Doctor as opponents, but according to Time, their long battle will soon be at a close. The end of Doctor Who Flux episode 6 saw Time prophecy of the ultimate death, Doctor's ultimate death, no regeneration. I listened to that back. And I got it wrong. It says not regeneration. It says nothing lasts forever. No life, no regeneration. She's saying that it was just bad writing. Oh, what a shock. Remember that first trailer? That 30-second trailer where it was bad writing within that 30 seconds and all like round the console. The Daleks are coming. The Weeping Angels. The Sontaran's Weeping Angels. And species known as the Flux or the Swarm. Oh, God, whatever they were. They weren't even species, there's 2 of them. Beware the forces allied against you, Time tells the Doctor, and their master. And it was that subtle. It wasn't exactly a subtle hint to make sense the master will be the greatest threat. After all, the master is the one person who knows the Doctor is in fact the timeless child. Probably not. But I just want to say, this isn't Doctor Who. If this upsets you, this is so divorced from Doctor Who. It's not Doctor Who. And it's going to be retconned and forgotten. Otherwise, it's going to kill Doctor Who, right? That's basically a choice. You can either kill Doctor Who or retcon and forget this. There are your options on the table. Chibnall may have already planted visual cues for this. Session 1's master wears the purple outfit, and in Doctor Who Flux we saw so that seems to be the colour of the colour of time, the colour of Time Force itself. And now we have Time Force like the Flash. If it hadn't got stupid enough already, now we're into CW superhero terms. In narrative terms, of course, Time's Prophecy is simply increasing the tension ahead of Jodie Whittaker's regeneration. Ripping off Russell Davis. He will knock 4 times. Yeah, I know. Nobody really believes the Doctor's about to experience her final death. I really think she is, actually. But how can Time, a being who sees the end from the beginning, get it so wrong? Well, where was the timeless child regenerations in the Doctor's corpse in the Matt Smith era, right? Yeah, where was that? Nowhere to be seen, wasn't it? Most likely explanation of the final battle between Jodie Whittaker and Sasha Miles Marston takes place in a realm where time has no sway. It's most likely outside the universe itself. Doctor Who Flux has confirmed the multiverse origin. No! Doctor Who Inferno has confirmed the it has confirmed not the Doctor's multiversal origin, because that's ridiculous. For all the Doctor has decided not to open up the fob watch containing and timeless child memories. Chris Chibnall probably isn't finished telling that story, and that would naturally take Chris Chibnall's story to another universe where the Doctor comes from, with the Doctor's next regeneration taking place in a cosmos time cannot see. Man, look, it was this Thomas Bacon. Thomas Bacon writes most of this garbage. Yeah, Thomas Bacon, right? Do. Okay. I understand you wanted this era to be successful and you wanted it to succeed. I understand that, because you felt women have been oppressed and now the way to break that oppression is for a bad actress to play Doctor Who. I understand that's why, and it's very important to you that it was successful, and now you're very upset it isn't successful. So you're trying to say, oh no, you're wrong that it's not successful. It really makes sense and it's good. No, it's absolute bollocks, mate. It's absolute bollocks. It makes no sense. It fails on every freaking level possible. With the exception of some of the production design, I thought was pretty good. I like the doggy. Okay, I like the doggy. But other than that, it really fails on every freaking level, in every way, shape, and form. Your desperate attempts to try and make sense out of the nonsense that Chris Chibnall has sprawled out and been overpaid for is both sad and pathetic. Okay, I think that's the only way. Both sad and pathetic. I wish you well. We're going to be looking at more of these plot holes. There's so many of them. There's so many. Expect more videos like this. My name is Tzvi Lebetkin, the Rabbi from another planet. Please like, share, and subscribe, and ring that little bell. Ring the little bell so you are notified when new videos drop.